obviously I did pick the Pacers in six. Um, but at least we fought. You know, at least we fought. We gave some type of effort. You know, we're gonna give the same effort tomorrow night, but I think the Pacers are just gonna be too much. Um, it's been back and forth. You know, watching back at how we did it in 2013. Um, obviously, we beat the Celtics, uh, and we advanced. Same position. It just to lose to the Pacers. And even that Pacers team is loaded. I mean, think about the team. You think about the players that was on that Pacers team at the time. You had Paul George. You had young Paul George. You had Danny Ranger. You had David West. You had George Hill. You had Roy Hibbert. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of great talent on that team. And what did we have? Stoudemire that was coming back from injury. J.R. Smith was inconsistent. Melo was just doing Melo stuff. Um, he thinks that he could just outshoot his way out of a title. So yeah, I did watch that series, and the Pacers actually won in six, so we were able to win 2 games in that series. Um, but seeing how this team operates, you have Ford Carlisle, he's a former champion himself. Obviously, he won a championship with the Mavericks. You have Pascal Siakam, who's won a championship with the Raptors. So they have something that we don't, championship DNA. I mean, Tibbs is good, but in my opinion, Tibbs is overrated. He's overrated as a head coach. Or I'd probably say he's underrated as a head coach. Um, his time with the Bulls and Derrick Rose had a great roster, great supporting cast around him. Couldn't get far. I think they took Miami to 7 or 6 games. And then they tried to run it back, and obviously, Derrick Rose, obviously injured his leg, and he was just never the same. And then the Bulls wanted to go to a different direction. He went to the Timberwolves. Didn't do really nothing much over there neither. And then obviously came to the Knicks, and he did everything he could. Tibbs is not Tibbs will Tibbs is the type of person that will stick to his beliefs. What works is what works. Think he don't think changing what he does is going to help the team in the long run. And as you can see, the Bulls, obviously, he was assistant head coach for the Knicks. The Bulls, the Timberwolves, now the Knicks again. So, and I don't think he's going to get fired per se, because he did sign, I think he signed like a 3-year extension with us. So he's probably going to be here until 2029, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to have him for a while. And as long as he's here, we're going to win probably 50-plus games every year. Probably be third, fourth, however we finish our season. Like, we're always going to be in the conversation. But we're never going to get far unless this roster changes. Now, obviously, we don't have any draft picks until 2030. Yeah, because we gave all our draft picks back to the Brooklyn Nets for Mikal Bridges, and he's playing like butt. You know, sometimes he shows up, sometimes he don't. So it's just all about Randall and Cat, and you're not gonna win like that. Now they did show up. I think they didn't give you the necessary numbers that they should give you, but they contributed. Obviously points, rebounds, assists. They contributed. Josh Hart contributed. So if you look at the Pacers yesterday, they were out of sync, out of rhythm. They was just missing wide open shots. Not even wide open shots. They was taking shots. It was just not going down. But if, and that's a big if, and I don't use the word if, but if the Knicks want to force the game 6 and 7, they have got to come out with the same mentality that they did last night. If they come out with the same mentality that they came out in game 1, they're going to lose the series. But I don't see the Pacers playing poorly again. I think they're going to be sharp. I think they're going to run us out of the building, and I think they're going to do it the best way that they can do it. And we're going to see a new era in basketball where hopefully the attendance is not that low, because this is something out of 2K. When you play in an association and you sit it for like 5 years, you do like a 5-year rebuild, and you see the Pacers and OKC in the NBA Finals. Like, you would never thought about that, So, yeah, two teams that have never won a championship. So something's got to give. It's going to be fun tomorrow night. Like, it all ends tomorrow night. And if my Knicks do lose, then it's been one hell of a season. Hopefully, they can learn from this, and obviously they can get better. And yeah, probably running back with the same squad, because there's really nothing they can't do. It's not like they have draft picks to lean on. Not saying that the draft picks that we gave Brooklyn was big or anyway, but yeah.